And so part of me is just like, it just feels too soon. I mean, I'd probably get them, but I'd probably wait a little bit until they had some games on them. But wait, Drak, you're the game reviewer. You can't wait.
Sorry, you wouldn't like mine.
I'm gonna wait.
Well, yeah, I'll answer that for you. He can and he will, because there's not somebody who's paying those for him. He has to fork it out of his own pocket.
That's kind of the downside. Although I will say, in defense of that, I don't know if I'd ever want like a paid review console or a paid review game, because at that point, like, then you just kind of feed into the problem right now with current game reviewers, where they just have an expectation of a review copy. It's not necessarily that whether or not they should get it. I've always kind of taken pride in the fact my reviews have always been like, I buy it out of my own pocket and tell you whether or not it's worth it. That's me. People can consider that selfish or not, but it's my observation, and I probably wouldn't change that.
No, that's completely fair and extremely admirable.
Okay, well, what the crap are we supposed to do then? Okay. He said something about being offered blood. So... Oh, do we literally offer him blood? There we go. Okay.
Sorry, I hate to be texting while we record, but we got our son guinea pigs yesterday, and one of them is sick, so he's just letting me know he's going over to the PetSmart so he can see if it can be treated like they told us that we could do. So
okay.
The reason why we got like our son guinea pigs just like out of the blue is because his childhood dog passed away.
Oh.
And so, I mean, this is like the dog that he had while living with his biological mother. And so he didn't really get to say goodbye. He didn't really get to see a whole lot of his dog while in our care during like the whole during foster care.
Guess that explains all the fools down there.
And so like he was pretty crushed, which rightfully so.
Yeah, makes sense.
And so I was telling, so I was talking to some coworkers about it, and they were saying, well, why don't you get him like something small, something that can be his own, that could help, that will help him with the coping process. And I was like, oh, that's smart. So I was talking
Yeah, actually, I like that idea.
Yeah, I really liked it too. And so I told Nathan about it. And so I guess recently he had gotten a bonus, and he was like, I want to spend a part of my bonus on our child. And I was like, I love that idea. So we ended up getting 2 guinea pigs yesterday, which he was so excited about. Oh my gosh. Because he used to have 2 guinea pigs, but when he came into our care, like his relatives just stopped caring for them, and we don't know what happened to his original guinea pigs. So getting these new ones was just like his entire life was made.
Plus, in my honest opinion, like, a guinea pig's probably a better starter pet for kids than a dog or a cat.
Well, we can't even have another dog right now because my brother-in-law has one, and then we have 2, and so we've reached.
So you've hit your limit.
Yeah, we've hit our limit according to Draper City ordinance. That, and even though we are about to like have time off where we could potentially like acclimate a new dog into the house, it's like we just don't want to acclimate another dog in the house.
Well, but I was saying, like, just from the pet care perspective, like, so many kids kind of get that ADD moment when having a new dog, and they don't want to take care of it anymore. They kind of expect the parents to do it.
Yeah.
And so a guinea pig, actually, I think it's a great way to be able to give that responsibility to a kid.
Yeah, we would give, I would give my son like star points for every time he like fed the dogs, but it was starting to become a problem.
Are you saying that you would wager star chips?
Yes, exactly.
But what about Pegasus? Sorry, I had to do it. I had to do it. Every time somebody brings up star points to me, like, the first thing that comes to my mind is Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, no, that's of course. So it just started to become a problem. Like, it just, like, we had to remind him, like, we'd have to remind him like a good hour or 2 after the dog should have been fed, and I mean, both of them are like getting like bark yelling at us. And so we decided to switch the responsibility to, we will go back to feeding the dogs, but it is like, these are your guinea pigs.
Yeah, exactly.
You feed them, you check their water, we will help you clean out the bedding, but you are responsible of taking care of them.
Agreed.
And that is how you're going to get your, like, that star from now on. And so he's like all for it. Oh my gosh.
Well, I thought it was the Flash. I guess I was wrong.
Glowy eyes.
Fury. It's Nick Fury? Well, this would probably have been a better decision and a casting choice for Samuel L. Jackson. From what I understand, Shaft didn't work out so well.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, he's like super stoked about the guinea pigs, and the associate at PetSmart warned us about the possibility of them getting a respiratory illness just because of the stress of going from PetSmart to home. And so yeah, we were completely expecting it.
Yeah, a little bit of a separation anxiety. They're used to one thing.
Yeah, and originally we were just gonna get one, but she recommended like pairs are really good, and we couldn't help ourselves because there were.
God, I'm handsome.
There were a few that we really did find adorable, so we were able to settle on 2, and we got 2. I
didn't want to interrupt Brinton there, guys. It's just like, wow, I just got a really great shot of Devil Trigger.
No, that was
damn, I'm awesome.
The Devil Trigger is so pretty.
Oh. Decision. I was hoping I could just follow the groove. They're not making it easy.
Yeah, that's actually one of those things where I know that Andrea wants to do, like, she wants to get a dog at some point for our kids, and I'm okay with it. I really wish there was such a thing as a hypoallergenic dog for me, but
There are.
No, not even the hypoallergenic dogs are unsafe for them.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
So, like, Shih Tzus even, like, would give you...
Yeah, so my older brother has 2 Chugs,
Okay.
and those are hypoallergenic. And even my wife's parents have a hypoallergenic dog, and I can't pet them. I can't, because if I do, then it's going to get to my face, and I just start scratching all the time.
Oh my gosh, that sucks.
Yeah. So it's like, it's one of those things where I guess I'd have to get used to it, but I kind of like the idea of starting off my kids with like a goldfish or something like that. Like something small, something that they can manage themselves. And
I think that
it's a family adjustment, not just a parent adjustment.
Yeah. Like, absolutely, because dogs are a lot of responsibility. Like, a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And depending on the breed you get, like, it could be easy or difficult.
It really can. And so at that point, like, it would be a big responsibility, and I would want to basically take this as a teaching exercise for my kids.
Yeah. Build up to something bigger. That's...
Let the blood flow. Oh, this is the collected blood from the tree. So we just filled it. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Looks like you got to do it for the other...
You know, for being blood, it looks a lot like poop.
Ah, that just made it worse.
This is the difference in the parenting that you and I are dealing with. You don't have to deal with poop jokes constantly.
No, I really... Actually, no. My 7-year-old does make poop jokes quite consistently, and it's just sometimes much.
But me and Andrea are making them regularly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to change diapers. I don't have to do that.
We do, yes.
Though my kid did get constipated at some point a few months back, and so the doctor like gave us some pretty powerful laxatives.
Ooh.
And let's just say that little kid was very unhappy. He like shit himself twice. And he was like, I never want to do that again. And it's like, yeah, because you're gonna go take a poop when you need to. Don't hold it in anymore.
Yes.
Or else we will literally do this to you again. And this isn't abuse.
And
like,
now the medicine has become ammunition.
And yeah, it's like this. I promise you, this is not abuse. This is we're teaching you a lesson. You brought this upon yourself because
Oh, because he'd do the 7-year-old thing where he would he doesn't want to leave because something really cool is happening right now. He doesn't want to miss it.
Or I really want to play my video games and I can't be bothered to go to the bathroom. And so it's just a little battle we've been trying to work through. Even we've had him for over a year and it's something we're still working on. And while we're playing Shadowbringers, we've already we've already told him he will get unlimited game time because we can't tell him, oh, you can't have screens until 2 o'clock, but we're going to sit on our asses in front of our computers and play video games all day.
Yeah.
And not go to work. That's going to look very hypocritical. So we've already told him you will be able to play video games.
See, I'd believe in that if it was a school night. If it was a school night, then sorry, but you are getting you're getting this much amount of screen time. But
yeah,
when it's going to be a vacation, you can't necessarily.
Yeah, and so we've already told him you will be able to have unlimited screen time, but we've also communicated to him that we're going to be taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
So when it's time to take a break, we're all taking a break. When it's time to eat lunch, we're all eating lunch. If we need to go outside and just take a little walk, we're going to go outside and take a little walk. We're not we're not going to just.
See, that's something that me and Andrea ought to do, but we don't. Her and me are on completely different eating schedules. I'm still used to how things worked in my house, but, I mean, Andrea's metabolism works so much faster and harder than mine.
Yeah.
And so at that point, she can go way longer between meal times. I think it's also partially because of, working as a nurse, you don't necessarily get to choose your lunchtime.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of thing. Ooh, let's go ahead and grab a bunch of these red orbs, shall we?
We really, I mean, why not? And I mean, this was something that Nathan and I had discussed prior to talking to our son about it. Because, I told him, I'm all for the hard level grind and playing all day if possible. But at the same time, we also need to take breaks. And he agreed with me and he said, I'm going to buy a bunch of healthy snacks so that way as we're gaming, we're not just pigging out on junk food, but we're having carrots, hummus,
See, for me,
fresh stuff.
For me, that first day, just because it's a family tradition for I've had family tradition of this for years. I get the healthy snacks and I think that's a great idea, but that first day, I'd be indulgent just a little bit. All right, I'd go out and get that bag of Doritos, and just for that first day, do that. But I've also but after that, day 2 is that's when you dig out meat,
Yeah, because when Stormblood came out, we did the same thing. We took a week off. We had ample time to hit level 70, get to the end game content, etc., etc. However, what ended up happening is that we ordered in a lot. We went out to breakfast more than we should have. It was a very unhealthy way to. Oh, hi. That van.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh, never mind. It's not Nico's van. I'm like,
oh. I was about to say, how did you get up here? But anyway, we could have gone.
Devil May Cry. Don't try to explain it.
We could have gone about it better, and so we are. And I'm really happy we are because I want to go back to work after all that time is over
and not feel hungover.
Yeah, not feel hungover, not feel groggy, but refreshed. Because as much as this is our time to do that level grind, get to the end game content, enjoy a new expansion, we also want to this is also our time for a break. We're doing this primarily because my husband and I need a break.
Oh, this is where we need it. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what the crap were we supposed to do? Okay.
Oh no, you're fine. I was gonna tell you this was right here.
Yeah, because we have the 2 Needhog hatchlings that we need. And now it becomes its. And boom! There we go. All right, well let's keep on going, shall we? Holy boy. That's technically what I should have done yesterday because I was really excited. I'd been waiting all week to play Bloodstained Ritual of the Night now that it's out, and I should have gotten I should have just gone and gotten a pizza or something, but I didn't because I had the kids.
No, that's fair.
And what happens when I usually am watching my kids is it actually becomes a bit of a problem to take care of me because they don't know any better. They think the priority must be them, and so
yeah, I mean,
as soon as I sit down to have lunch, it's like. Oh crap. Okay, well.
It's giving you a little kiss. And it's like, I love you, Dante.
It is, in fact. But now I'm giving it a little kiss with my big old electro motorcycle swords. That's going to be one of the episode titles for this, by the way. Big old electro motorcycle swords.
Perfect.
And I am savage!
No, now you're just badass.
Oh. I blame the Mantis Demon. I was doing so good. Well, okay, so I guess now we have to ask this question: How did an ambulance get up here?
That's a good question.
Video games.
Yeah, there you go. I should have known the answer to that one.
Because video games. I mean, it just works. It's a universal answer.
Kind of like whenever you play a Nintendo game, like the answer is always Nintendo logic.
Yep. Trust me, I used to do a bunch of point-and-click adventures back in the day. Sierra Logic was a thing. Okay, now, for a second there, I thought I bugged this thing out. Because I walked in here and then the wall came up.
No, I think that's obviously just part of this area. And then those demons were just attacking you from the other side of it like, hey, hey.
It's too bad that I don't have the V mechanic. Like, I can see when they're really low, then I can just go up and stab them.
Yeah,
That'd
like
be
that
really
final
cool.
execution. That's definitely something that I like as well from V's gameplay.
But it would be cool if like they implemented it with Dante as well. And so you have, so again, this would be like an Onimusha thing. You have the choice where you can wait for them to get up and maybe get more souls out of them.
Mm-hmm.
But instead you stab them and you might just get a little less. But in some cases that was a better decision because in Onimusha you can get overwhelmed pretty easy in some rooms.
I really just need to be a part of that project, I guess.
You do. Well,
I'll just suffer. It's fine.
It's one of those things where, and actually what's funny is I was talking to a friend a couple of days ago after E3, and he was like, wow, they kind of are setting up for Capcom to do like this big Onimusha reveal. I was like, I really hope they are, because that would be an amazing thing to have that franchise returned.
I'm sure there'd be a lot of other people like you who would super and love to see that happen.
It's a niche audience, so at that point, I don't know if it'd be enough for Capcom. But from what I understand, the re-release did bring in a whole slew of new people.
Okay.
So at that point, maybe it would be an easier sell. Because here's the thing, like the first game, which was, I think it was released maybe a week after the PS2 launched. It was a big hit. And then everything after, so the second game after that, not so much. The third brought in a lot of audience, but that was because in Japan they brought in a prominent film actor in Japan to play the main character, and they also spent a lot of money to bring in Jean Reno.
Wow.
To be the other main character of Onimusha 3, which kind of broke the bank.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, totally worth it. To bring them in, because both characters were very much necessary and both were played very well by their film counterparts. I mean, for crying out loud, they actually made this is one of the first occasions of like models in games looking like the actual actor, because the Jean Reno character looked like Jean Reno.
That's so cool.
They didn't have that fine-tuned on PS2 graphics yet. So I love that concept. Then 4 happened, and 4 kind of died it down again. So I'd really love to see a return to the franchise and maybe a new game. Or maybe the other one that got brought up from my friend who's a big fan of this game is to reboot the 4th. Because the 4th is basically going outside of the story that the first 3 games told, and having new characters, new villains, new everything. And
Not
it'd
a
be
bad
really cool
idea.
to reboot that game.
Not a bad idea.
I would agree on it. I think it would be a great idea. Especially now that, like, Dark Souls is a thing, because that's kind of how that game played to some extent. Not with the death mechanics, but with how its sheer hordes of mobs and all that worked out. I think now is the time to be able to bring that back.
Yeah, there definitely is a lot of people who enjoy Dark Souls to some extent.
Yes. So much so that I still get recommendations to this day on my channel.
Oh, there are
you haven't played Dark Souls?
There's tons of people who have recommended it to me, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, but it's just not my style of gameplay. I can't play something like that.
It's punishing, but I will say that there is at least a tiny allure to me, just because of the monsters that are coming out of, you know, like the boss monsters that you'll face, as well as once you get good at the gameplay, it actually is fairly satisfying.
Okay.